Evening all, and welcome to episode 73 of Kerbalism. Now, we are starting this episode with a small race against the clock. I've managed to move pretty much the whole base, piece by piece, over to there, but it was a very, very slow process. I then installed another mod to try and do it. I've got this little Bon Voyage, the mod that's installed here. That mod allows you to have rovers automatically drive places. I thought it would basically let me set this crane off it goes while I come back and do something else. It doesn't. You can't actually have the vessel active or within the active physics range. It's got to be, well, basically you've got to go back to the tracking center and then it just magically travels there. I don't know, it's a bit weird, so I'm probably going to uninstall that again. It doesn't do what I wanted. Ironically, MechJeb's autopilot does do, but I'm avoiding MechJeb like the plague because I've become lazy with it. I get it to do everything for me, but yeah. But the important thing here is this is the main core with all our Kerbals inside it, and it's only on solar power at the moment, and it's going to run out. The sun's going down, it's going to run out. Our nuclear reactor is up there, and I can't lift this with the crane for two reasons. One, it's too heavy anyway. Well, three reasons actually now. One, it's too heavy. Two, the crane's not tall enough, and three, when I went to pick up this one here, it redocked with this. It's actually undocked at the moment, but as I was picking it up, it redocked with it and decided to pull the winch off. It smashed the winch to pieces and it went flying off into the distance. And yeah, that crane's now pretty pointless. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to get that to get this to move. I did do something else with the other section that had the another piece like this had a crew cabin in it, the cupola. That's I actually attached a rover to the front of it, attached the recycler that we had here to the front of it, and then took the back wheels off the recycler and put them on the back of the probe. I'll show you when we get over there. But more importantly, this has to go over to there and get connected to our nuclear reactor before time runs out. Luckily, we have these engines, and it's got quite a powerful reaction wheel in it because of this pod here. So, I'm not sure whether this has reaction wheels or not, but yeah, I'm hoping that I can lift off with it, but just make it hover. I don't actually want to fly with it. That's the biggest problem here. It wants to travel that away. But I've got to be really careful with it because crashing into the ground is not a bad thing. These legs are pretty strong, so they can take a hit on the ground or two. The issue to it is if it flips over. That would cause a very, very large problem. So I'm going to have to fly over there kind of like an actual rocket, I suppose. And I gotta say, I never ever expected to be doing this like this. I really thought I could attach the rover sort of to one side and maybe do something with wheels the other, or maybe even attach wheels to this, I don't know, but having that winch blow off me really, really caused a problem. And more importantly, the sun going down really caused a problem. It's been hours, absolute hours, since I started doing this. I'm not sure how well, a complete day's gone by, so what's that, 6 hours, something like that I think it is. I think Mimus is about 6 hours, so yeah. I haven't got lots of RCS, I might enable that as well. The best thing is that these engines are quite powerful, so I haven't really got to worry about it crashing too much. See there, 2 seconds at full burn, and I wouldn't really have to worry that much about anything going terribly wrong. Actually a lot smoother, although I shouldn't say that because, well, I'm not there yet. Travel that way. Yeah, travel that way a bit. I think that's our nuclear reactor there. I think. You can see there that's the thing with a Kerbal on it. I rather than take everything apart individually, I decided to drive it over there like a rover. I kind of wish I'd have tried that from the start because, well, that went rather well and would have made life a lot easier for me. Well, I expected that to go a lot worse than that, if I'm quite honest with you. The RCS is not strong enough to float it, so there we are, we're down. That went surprisingly well. Really surprisingly well. Right, if I drop the gear, raise it back up again, just to make sure it's kind of, you can see there we are so much flatter here than we were before. That is so much better. But we do need to connect ourselves to our nuclear reactor, and I think for tonight, rather than try and dock everything, I am just literally going to plug it in. There is something I do need to have a look at, however. We've got here there's a pod here that I can't take off. It says it's the root part, and I'm not sure why it's the root part. That's odd, but yeah, it's the root part apparently. So yeah, I'm not allowed to detach that one. I don't know how to change the root part on a vessel that's not there. Again, that might have to be some save file editing. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. We've got a few of these. I have lost some of these actually. I've had issues where I've dropped craft off, and I think all these ones here are fine. I had an issue with these ones here. As I was picking the craft up, it snapped them off, and they go flying. They go sort of, I don't even know it. I think one of them was at about 4,500 meters a second when it left Mimus. So I don't know where that's gone, but it's going there in a hurry. So good luck to it, and maybe I'll see it again. Who knows? Right. So blue. I want to attach this there. So right. Oh yes, right. I want to grab it out of his inventory, push R to enable node mode, and zoom in to make sure it's facing the right way. Because you'll see if you push R, you can do it top, bottom, free, or bottom. So that's what I'll do. The bottom, attach there. Hold H, click. Must stop doing that with a Kerbal on top of that. I did have it once where it was Bill. Yes, it was Bill. I attached to the top of something there, and Bill went flying up in the air, and I spent a good few minutes trying to get him down without smashing into the ground at high speed. So yeah, I should really stop doing that. But anyway, we're here now. the base has been moved up here piece by piece. Hopefully I can link to that. Hopefully it's not in a dodgy angle. Link, yes. Right. All our Kerbals are on board here. Valentina had a wonderful trip up here. She was inside this rover thing here that, as you can see, has got bits attached to it and a probe here, and yeah, it's a bit of a mess here. But yeah, she was in this, and I brought her up here and parked it for a while. And whilst I was mucking about with the rovers, it told me she was cooking to death. She was boiling to death inside here, and I wasn't sure why. I think it's electric charge run out because these solar panels are not great. And of course, when I got her out of this, she had no water propellant, so I couldn't take her home. That's why this pod's here. Actually, sorry, tell a lie. Yeah, she was in this, and it has no electric charge, so she was cooking to death. I got her out and realised she isn't going to be able to walk the 1.6 kilometres, so I sent this up here. This pod came up here, attached to it, and then of course she can get the monopropellant out of it. That was what happened. Sorry, it's been a very long day today. But anyway, the base is here. The base is attached. I'm going to extend our solar panels. I am going to bring up the near future power reaction thingamabob. I'm going to drop that down to like 1% power because it doesn't need to be a great deal. And I don't know what any of that is, so I'm going to leave that alone. By the way. And yes, of course, you've got to. There we go. Right. I'm not sure why, but for some reason they don't start at that sort of power. You're going to have them up higher and then drop them down. So yeah, maybe they've got to be like above 5%, something. I'm not sure, but okay, that's producing 15 electric charge a second. These are still getting charged there. Not sure really how much is going on here, so I'm going to fast forward to night time. Oh no, I'm not. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the game first. Normally I don't do quick saving and quick loading unless there's an issue, but the reason I'm doing that is because all these parts are separate here, and I have had issues where with time warp things all of a sudden bounce. You come out of time warp and some of these things will just fly up into the air for no reason. And yeah, I've had it twice. Actually, it's vehicles with wheels on, so maybe it's the wheels that are doing it. But luckily, when they come down, the wheels are pretty robust and they've managed to bounce. My crane I had fly up into the air and come down and actually break 4 of the 6 wheels. So yeah, that's been interesting. But oh, I keep pushing the wrong button there. Let's speed up time. So this solar panel here, if I can click on it, which I apparently can't do. There we are. Included by vessel. Right, anything bouncing? Nope, everything good. Might be something to do with physics range. If I switch between vessels, I can switch those ones down there, and then when I come back, vessels with wheels bounce. Odd, but very, very strange. But anyway, we have no included by vessel. Mimus is a vessel, apparently. That's what that means. It's included by something in the way, which is Mimus itself. So we're not getting any solar power anymore, and we are not using any electric. So that is going well. That's only going to last for almost forever. So yeah, did have an also weird thing. I sent Bill over when I was first doing this, and I had an option to repair the core, and it told me the core is damaged beyond repair, even though it says it's 100%. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. But I think that's about it. Oh no, there is one other very, very important thing. I am missing a vessel. If If I go back down to here, you see I've got the crane here. See that bouncing? See that? That's weird. I've got these 2 fuel tanks here. The engine that was on that one went flying off over there because I ran into it by mistake. But you'll notice there's something missing. It was right here. The was on its side. When I quit and reloaded the game earlier on, for some reason when I came back, it told me that the engine on that craft no longer existed and it couldn't be loaded anymore. And I did the last quick save I had before that was I'd already moved like half the base over there and I wasn't going to do that again. So we are missing that entire pod. That's gone. The recovery vehicle. I'm not sure what happened, why it didn't happen. There were several other vehicles that told me it couldn't load, and I don't know why. I've not updated any of the mods. I've not changed anything that I know of. Well, actually, that's a lie. There's one thing I've been working on changing, but that was working fine beforehand, and it's just happened here. But let me quickly have a look at our relays. They still exist around Minmus. Go to the moon. 3 relays exist around the moon still. Go to here. And metal and rocket storage still exists. Obviously got some contracts to do some things here. Got my experimental science jet landed at the KSC. Not the KSC, the KSC's up there. That must be debris from something previously. Oh, I've not got debris. Nope, that says this shit. Oh, whatever. And then I've got this thing here. What's that? The Minmus crane. Oh, that was what I sent the crane up with, yes. So yeah, I'm not sure what those other vessels were that it couldn't load. Everything important appears to be here. So, yeah. That is very odd. Maybe it was loads of errors about that one vessel. Something's gone wrong with it. The only engine it had in it was that big monopropellant one, wasn't it? So a quick trip back here to the VAB, and this is the vessel in question. Let me just delete that fairing. And you can see here it's intact. It's got its engine on the bottom. That's that engine there. That exists. That works fine. So yeah, I'm not really sure why it decided to delete that vessel. Something about it didn't like, but well, I can always send it up again. That's not a problem. I do need to send some solar panels up as well. I could also send another one of these up, just with a different one. You can see here I've got UI xenon gas in this one here. Yeah, and I edit the files, change it, so I could send that one up again with an ore stuck on it and some ore drills instead. So we could start doing that sort of thing. I suppose that could all go up in one go, but that's for a later day. Let me actually show you what I've been doing mod editing sort of wise. We have these tanks here, these lithium tanks, and I have a mod installed called modular fuel tanks, I think it is. Basically it allows you to right click, show UI, and you can remove tanks and add. I can make that a monopropellant tank, or I could just add liquid fuel to it. For instance, it customises the tanks, but it didn't support lithium. I have manually added lithium to the list, so it can now fill up these tanks with lithium at the same rate as these ones here. If I grab that one, and then I grab an orange tank, I'll show you. I'll stick that on the side. Boom. They are roughly the same size, same diameter, the same thing, and these obviously just store lithium, and these were just storing normal fuel. So I've added the two separately together, and I could now remove that from there, add lithium to them, and yeah, the reason behind that is because, well, let me first show you. If I add liquid fuel, that adds 6,400 liquid fuel, and if I do the same for this, see, 6,400. It's all they're basically a cone tank just with different textures on it and stuff, but it looks really cool. I really like it. It looks awesome, and I would like to use it in some vessels, but they're only lithium, so now I've edited them, they can be whatever fuel tanks I want. Because, as I said before, really you could store anything. I mean, these just looks like 4 pressurized tanks, so there's no reason it couldn't have anything in there. But on that note, I was thinking about oxygen and hydrogen and stuff like that, and whether I should modify these tanks to allow me to have those in them. And I did it, and discovered that I could fill up one of these jumbo tanks with enough oxygen to last 13 years of 3 Kerbals. So, although that's not a bad thing, I kind of thought it was a bit much. So instead, I decided to have a look at the ore tanks, because these look pretty cool. If I let's get rid of those. If I was to grab a sheet of metal, or in fact, let's grab one of these ones. I've installed this dome mod, and I should really use it. It's awesome looking, and I like it. And the member space would look awesome with the domes on it. But yeah, maybe I'll build these and build them up in there with rocket parts. That's a good idea. But anyway, if I go back to here, if you could imagine these, actually let me grab the smaller floor plan. There we go. You imagine these up on Mimus, and we'll slap 4 of them down. Put 5 really, but we'll put 4 of them down like that. They're just ore tanks, but you can configure them now. Interstellar Fuel Switch did not like what I did with this. It's overwriting textures, but if you ignore that there, and then just go to show UI, you can add all metal rocket parts, water, wastewater, oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, nitrogen, and ammonia. And they're all balanced to be exactly what they should be. So they all sort of store the same amount, because this little holding tank here is roughly the same size, if I go to Kerbalism, as that one there. It's put it next to it so you can see. Turn off that, that's going to help. There we go. Right. You can see they are roughly the same size. I think the Kerbalism one is slightly fatter, but the ore container is slightly longer, not as rounded. So I assume that these were both the same size and based everything off that. So that stores 4,851 oxygen. Don't forget, this is my profile, it's not the default one. By default it stores a lot more oxygen. And if I was to show the UI and add oxygen to this, it stores 4,788, so slightly less. I think that's how I figured it out. It's all based on the volume, which was a fair bit of research. But of course that works for these, and when I unlock the larger pods as well, the larger ones of these. And I just thought that having those sat to one side, I could put them in like a block of 5 or something, or you know, 1 in the centre and 4 on the outside, or whatever. And I could just go, well, this one's going to have hydrogen in it, and that one would have a carbon dioxide. And it just, they look the part. I think they look like storage containers. So although I wouldn't have them, they'd be slightly larger, and of course there are larger ones I haven't unlocked yet. They just help. I didn't put food on them on purpose. Food is limited to just this big supply container here, and obviously the K&K stuff. I think we've got that one there, and I also think I broke one of these. I think that one. That work? Configure supply container. Yes it does. Alright, okay, no, I didn't break it. this used to just store food only. Had 2 for food, and then you had one here that did food, water, and supplies and stuff. And it just made no sense that that one and that one are exactly the same thing. One's only food, one's that, but there's not one for water. So I adjusted these so that that is essentially now that. I just think that looks better. It just looks. Yeah, I think that just looks nicer than that one there. So yeah, I also don't know if I might have broken that little mini greenhouse. Don't know. Yeah, it doesn't actually work as a greenhouse anymore, and I don't know what I did to that. I was basically editing one thing and was in the wrong place when I was editing it, and I can fix that. I'm going to profile fix that. But anyway, I digress. That's there. But other thing I've noticed as well is that these here say carried by the Kerbal. Attaches to parts without the tools. I can't remember where it was I was seeing it, but apparently Kerbals can take these, and I could have one of these pods, and with one of these inside it. So. And a Kerbal can come along and pick that up and take it and put it over there, if I wanted to, or somewhere else. They can pick them up and move them around. I did not know that. That's completely new to me. I've not tested it. I don't know if it works or not. But if that's true, that could be potentially really, really, really helpful. Because I could send down a supply ship containing one of these sort of things here, you know, and just unplug these and take them elsewhere. I know Kaz and Kiz lets you do that, the attachment system lets you do things, but a Kerbal being able to carry one on his back, particularly the containers, if they can carry one of those on their back, because they've got inventories, that would be awesome. Absolutely awesome. They would be able to walk around with things on their back, where Bill could actually have a proper pack on his back and then just plug it into the ship, and yeah, that's a little rover. Pick it up, go around, fixing something, come back in, plug it in again. Not having to drive the rover around to do things. You probably know about that. I'm probably, you know, preaching to the choir, and you all know about that, and I've just discovered it, and yeah, I'm really happy with that. But anyway, yes, that's been configured so it could be just water now because it looked better. That was my thing there. So anyway, yeah, so that's the idea. Now these could be, as I said, store hydrogen and carbon dioxide, and what else did we need for the process? Water. Water breaks down to oxygen and hydrogen, and then it uses carbon dioxide to create liquid fuel and oxidizer. You know, considering how much I played with that process, I can't remember how it works now. But it doesn't matter, because these can be configured to do whatever. I really wish that the painting mod still existed so I could colour them. That would be the only thing. That does break it if you do. I think, hold on, if I've got that hydrogen and then I add metal to it, yeah, you could technically cheat and double it up and make it larger than it actually is. So yeah, that's about the only sort of drawback to them things there. But if you just don't use into the fuel switch, it works fine. So yeah, and that's just a slight tweak on modular fuel tanks. You can edit one of these. I did actually edit one of those to store water, and one of those Rockomax orange tanks, which is basically what I use as the basis for everything, for volume wise, because good solid sturdy tank, that one. That is 10 supply containers tall. That's 10 of those on top of each other. So it could store 41,000 water, and then figuring out the water mass to the oxygen and stuff like that, which I've got all in my profile settings anyway. I've got all the numbers anyway. But yeah, it stored enough, as I said, oxygen for about 13 years based on one of these command pods. So I thought that was a bit OP, and they're a bit massive. I could see them at my Minmus base, just a couple of those sat there, one with hydrogen in it, one with that. Why not? You could easily, store stuff on them. So yeah, that's doable. But I decided to just go with these little tanks. The larger ore tank is about that size, I believe. It's the size of a double. Size of that one, yeah. So it's about that size. So yeah, that would go there, and yeah, see that little setup there? That would allow you to. You could have water in one, and carbon dioxide another, hydrogen another, and whatever the third process was. I really can't remember. You took water and broke it down to oxygen and hydrogen, and then you mixed hydrogen and carbon dioxide to make one, and oxygen and hydrogen and carbon. I'm missing something here. I can't remember the process. I've got it all written down somewhere. But yeah, that would be enough tanks to do whatever you wanted to do, and you could make liquid fuel and oxidizer. So yeah, that's basically the thing. That's the changes I've done. My Kerbals are obviously up on Minmus going through the night, so I need to probably launch another craft and also send a winch up to repair that crane. I might send a slightly different design crane, one that's just sturdier, maybe. I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I might send a winch up for that crane that's up there, because I've done all the heavy moving already. All I've got to do now is pick up things, and that was something else that I noticed. I probably can't show you the UI in here for the crane, the winch. Probably won't show me here. No, obviously it won't. It's in VAB. But there is an option in the winch, that big long panel that comes up at the end, to rotate vehicles. You can actually, when they're attached to the crane and not docked, you can rotate them round. So all that effort I did of trying to knock it and spin it around and do things, I could have just turned it. Didn't read the instructions. There you go. But yeah, I think all in all, things are good for the Minmus space. It's about ready to start producing fuel. We would just need either a craft to go up to an orbital station, or a craft that can come back to Kerbal. I'm tempted to have it so that it builds crafts. It builds a ship, fills it with liquid fuel, sends it back to Kerbal. It docks in a station at Kerbal to drop its fuel off, and then gets recycled up there. So then I'm obviously bringing ore technically from Minmus back as well, just in the form of a spaceship. And that way, every time I need to do refueling things, I just print a new spaceship. That kind of makes sense, rather than having to go from Kerbal to Minmus. Because Minmus is a bit awkward out the way for a refueling base. Having one around the moon's a lot better. But, well, Minmus is lower gravity, so that makes sense. So, anyway, yeah, I'm doing an awful lot of talking and explaining a lot of things for it. But, that's that. So I'm going to stop myself there and actually get on with playing the game rather than talking about it. I have done a lot of talking in this episode. Sorry about that. I'm actually going to label this one episode 72.5 rather than 73. And I'm going to go off and record episode 73 now and do less talking, do more playing, and hopefully at the end of it actually have a working Minmus base.